Here we go. Once again, using the live functionality of Instagram as a way to create a driving around in my truck rant. Hi everybody, I'm SB out here giving you a quick rant, driving around in this truck, being very careful the whole time. Although I am a little vain, want to keep adjusting this thing. See, we're getting people popping up. Just so you know, if you're watching this broadcast, it's not for any particular reason other than that I can save this file and dump it up on my YouTube. So it's not even that the intention is to broadcast live on Instagram. It's just that I can use these filters and I get this wah-wah effect, kind of, or at least I get a choice. And you know, I don't know about you guys, but I've been feeling some irritation, some anxiety. I've been doing my personal practices that allow me to relieve or to let go of those things, and it works. I definitely notice and feel the difference. Do some breathing techniques, do some release work, pray to God, but it seems like it's still here. And I figured, just talking to everybody about it, I figured, well, if I'm feeling this, a bunch of people are probably feeling this. And us esoteric, occult, conspiracy types like to reference and consider and even blame things on the sun and the moon and the stars and just the general vibe in the air. And so I figured I'd just pop up and say what's up. And plus, I'm almost to the end of my audio book for Gravity's Rainbow. Last broadcast I was calling it Gravity Falls because there's some cartoon called Gravity Falls that I've only ever seen a couple clips of, but the book is called Gravity's Rainbow. And you know how it is when something's good and weird and you're almost to the end of it, you just want to turn it off, right? Like, oh, don't end. I don't want you to end. But I don't feel too heavy about this one because A, it's completely nonsensical and schizophrenic and taboo and weird and bad. And I mean, it's bad. There's like really bad stuff in this book. Really disgusting, horrible, taboo stuff mingled in with interesting, funny stuff and lots of confusing stuff. And it's like stream of consciousness if somehow the writer, people compare it to James Joyce, if you've ever checked out James Joyce. So it's got that vibe to it, you know, Finnegan's Wake vibe. And this guy, Thomas Pynchon, has a similar thing going as James Joyce, where people get stuck like looking into his life and studying his work forever. Like there's whole wiki pages and archives like documenting and spreading everything out, like you're going to solve the mystery, like you're going to figure out the puzzle. But I would say this Gravity's Rainbow book is like stream of consciousness, like James Joyce, if somehow the author was able to include the horrible, intrusive thoughts that some of us have. Like, you know, somebody hands you their newborn baby, it's only 2 months old, and you're like at a national park and you're kind of close to the edge, you're really up high where there's a beautiful picturesque panoramic view, and that voice in your head pops up and it says, throw the baby off the edge. Throw it, just throw that fucker, throw that baby off the edge. And you're like, whoa, what is this? Like, I definitely love this little baby, and I think it's so cute and adorable, and it belongs to my friends. They just had it. They're happy as I've ever seen them in their life. And the voice in your head's like, just throw that, throw it. Like, no, obviously we're not gonna throw it. What is this? What is this intrusive voice? So kill yourself, drive fast and kill yourself. Speed, go fast, kill yourself, do it. Crash into the back of that semi, see if it'll blow up. Crash into the gas truck. Like, what the fuck is this? What is this voice? It's not me. Sure doesn't seem like me. I don't want to crash into the gas truck. And I would say that's how this Gravity's Rainbow book is. Like, you're going along and there's some weird, interesting stuff about the V2 rocket and the soldiers in World War II and how they're fooling around with whores and doing drugs, and all of a sudden, I don't even want to say it out loud, all of a sudden, some of the stuff that pops up. But anyways, I'm almost to the end of that book. I got this weird feeling of anxiety, irritation. You ever get that, just irritated for no reason? Nobody did anything. Nothing happened. nothing's really going on. Life's pretty much the same as it was 2 days ago. But in the last 2 days, I'm just like, man, fuck this shit. Fuck all this shit. I'm so sick of it all. Sick of what? I can't even tell you. It's nothing any different. I'm actually perfectly happy and pleased with my life. Is going great. Everything's going great. Everything's going just according to plan, better than it could possibly be expected to be going. And little things like the sound of the train blowing its whistle does make me happy. And I think part of it is probably that I'm going to be 47 tomorrow. So, you know, yesterday, 27's my lucky number. So yesterday was like a lucky number day. And, you know, events happen that just kind of causes a way you feel the change, and then you get stuck trying to figure it out. So a lot of the time I'll just practice this release technique to let go of figuring it out, and I highly recommend that to people. Just ask yourself if you're trying to figure it out, and then just let it go, because it's totally possible. I mean, because the truth is, you either have an answer or you don't. In the brain, I'm finding personally for me that the brain, whatever this brain, the mind, this shit that wants to constantly be giving commentary on everything, giving you input, telling you, you know, that you could have done a better job, or this person's an asshole, or you suck at that, or, you know, full of self-doubt. This thing has never been helpful. This fucking voice in your head, this third-party fucking commentary, like, so I like to dismiss this shit over and over again until I get some quiet, and then just observe whatever I'm doing. And it works. And I think that's the way, I really think that's the way mankind was supposed to be. Like, before we started planning for the future, quote unquote, I think there was a time when we weren't necessarily like caveman, savage, native, all that kind of romanticized version of bullshit that they give us, that, you know, we used to all be unga bunga in a cave and fucking, I don't think we were ever quite like that. I think that's some bullshit. But I do think there was a time when we weren't stacking shit up, worrying about the future, where we were more present as a, I hate the word species, I really do, like the human species. Like, none of the fucking creatures or things that you see out here are species. That's just that's one more weird fucking made up word, one more piece of bullshit that they're throwing at you. Like, well, do you know which species you? Like, I'm not a species. I'm not so sure I'm a human being. I think I'm a man. I'm a part of mankind. But anyways, where were we? A little warm in here. Oh, I'm seeing the happy birthday wishes. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. 47 is going to be a good year. I'm excited because 47 is a significant number in our Weaving Spiders welcome group. And those of you that are watching the replay of this on the YouTube, hopefully this works and I can upload this to YouTube. Please join us every Saturday night for Weaving Spiders Welcome. It's not exactly RX Only Picture Show, but it's also not exactly not RX Only Picture Show. I mean, it's kind of like the homunculus butt baby moonchild of Picture Show, and I can say that with all authority because Picture Show was my own homunculus moonchild butt baby that I conceived with Jim Maiden. And, you know, it was a three-headed monster for a while there, if you know what I'm saying. But yeah, you know, us spiders have a significance with the number 47, and if you want to get sucked in, just, you know, type any of your favorite subjects and type the year 1947 and just see all the stuff that pops up, or just start referencing, looking for 47 the same way you look for 1111 and see what happens in your life, you know. And if that's not enough, then go find Project Cheney and listen to a couple episodes, and then come back and just meditate on 47 and see if you get anywhere, you know, because that's the way it goes. But I don't know, this might be a short broadcast. I'm running out of shit to say already. Usually I can just run my mouth in perpetuity without any problems. Oh, I'm gonna go buy myself a present. I should let you guys know I'm on my way right now to buy myself a present, because I've always wanted a rocket stove. And this guy welded up a little rocket stove, and he's selling it for 65 bucks on Facebook Marketplace. I'll be honest, half of my time is spent just driving around in my truck buying shit off of Facebook Marketplace. And I keep telling myself I'm going to list my own stuff on Facebook Marketplace so I can recoup some of the money and get rid of some of my junk. And I might do that today. I hope I do. Hopefully I can get to that. But most of the time I just go, ooh, show another shiny object, another thing, a microphone, a keyboard. Oh, look, A ukulele that's shaped like a banjo. Oh, gotta get it. Rocket stove. I want a rocket stove, and it's my birthday, so I got an excuse spending the money. I'm gonna go get it. And all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's beautiful weather out here today. I don't know how about you guys. The weather's starting to change over here. Getting some coldness going on. Getting some ice in the mornings occasionally. I got an old artistic habit. If you see the ice like it's frozen into the wheelbarrow or into the top of the dog bowl, especially if it's got some leaves or some debris that fell in there, what you're supposed to do is reach in there real careful and pick that up and then set it somewhere so it looks picturesque. Maybe even take a photograph of it and then notice as it melts, you know. And then when it gets really cold, it'll sit there for a long, long time. And then one day you walk out and it'll be warm and it'll melt and it'll be gone. And it's just your own private little art project. It's fun. It's a good time. But let's see. Seems like there was more to say than this. I had something more significant. You know how it is, like you walk into a room and what the fuck did I come in here for? Now when I do that, I'll just stand there, like I'll just wait, because it'll come back to me. A lot of the time it'll just come back to me. Like, oh, I came in here. And I remember being young, and we would make hella fun of older people for this kind of stuff. Like, oh my gosh, they can't remember anything. And then you get a little bit older, and you're like, oh. Because you still feel like your same young self. But there's like some gaps. Like, it gets a little stretched out. Like a blind that's been peeked through too many times by the tweakers, you know. Like, it's not ruined or ripped. But there's just one area where all the peeking happens. It's getting a little stretched out, and that's kind of what happens with your memory bank process. So you're heading off over here into this room because you know you're on task. You got your little list of stuff you're doing, and you go, what the hell? I'm kind of feeling that right now. Like, I wanted to let people know that if they're feeling anxious or depressed or irritated, that they're not alone, because that feeling's been around for me too. I mean, I assume with the eclipses happening and stuff, and we're coming right into the season of death. You know, I used to always pick on people and tell them, you know, you get close to Halloween, you just say, well, who's gonna fucking drop dead this year, you know? And I've come to welcome and accept that you don't really have a choice, you know, especially people who are elderly or they have health problems. There's a good chance that someone's probably going to pass away, and especially nowadays when you got a significantly higher number of people giving themselves injections as some kind of precautionary or participatory rule, then, you know, then it's like the end of a football game, you know. It's a tied score, you got to go into overtime, and it's sudden death, overtime. And, you know what's right over here to the right is an IMAX. That's so cool, man. IMAX theaters are addictive, man. It's so much bigger and louder and so completely immersive in there. But I guess that was kind of an ADD comment, huh? The Edwards 21 cinemas. And over here on the left, we got a different kind of cinema. You guys can't see it, but over there's a big, fancy Mormon temple. It's got 5-6 spires with a big golden angel of Moroni on top. And supposedly, every year they do an open house where they let you come in and check out the inside of the temple. You know, this is different than just like a Mormon church. This is a temple, you know. If I thought I could pull the thing down and flip it around real quick, I would do it. But I don't think, well, let's see, will it work? We're stopped at the red light. Now, this is highly risky. See there? See that Mormon temple over there? Trippy, huh? Okay, let's get this back clipped up in here. Hey, maybe you guys want to see the road instead of see my ugly face with the fancy effects on it. So, what are we at here? We're still streaming. Well, it's weird. It kind of makes the clouds look like they're moving. That's a trip. What else? Well, I don't know. I'm kind of in a compromised position because there's a lot of shit that I'm really not sure to what degree I should deal with it or talk about it. And I know some of you know what I'm talking about. And So that's kind of weird. That's a weird situation to be in. And, you know, I could consult with people and find out the bottom line. And as things progress, I'm sure we'll get more answers. I know that's kind of vague, but for those of you that don't know, you can just scratch around a little bit and turn up the dirt and find out some interesting information. But I guess, you know, it's okay to just sit here and be quiet too, right? Like, just do dead air. Here we go. Here we go. Got a broadcast coming out pretty soon. I've been meaning to put together like go update my little web page, since I never look at the damn thing and it's probably completely out of date and not like applicable to what I'm doing or what's going on. You know, I got to get on the same page as alanmarcus.com and have a real website, a real web page. I mean, I've got one, but could probably stand a little bit of love and maintenance and looking after. But I was thinking to go and chunk every single little interview and spot that I've ever done into one place, so it's easy for people to find. Also feels kind of vain, I guess, but I mean, that's what people usually do. They get some kind of archive together, like, oh, here's most of the places I can remember where I've ever made an appearance and that kind of stuff. Because this all started with my friend Jesse Waugh invited me to do my very first interview on the internet. And Jesse Waugh tragically passed away. He got an infection and he wasn't comfortable taking antibiotics, apparently. That's what his mom said. And it got him, you know, it killed him. And it's tragic because he was my favorite living artist at the time. And he was painting beautiful pictures of flowers. And he wrote a manifesto called the Polkerist Manifesto. Pulchritude means beauty, you know, like the story of beauty in the world. And how he was kind of against the bullshit art that we see, all of this Jackson Pollock type bullshit, you know, what I call CIA art, where they just kind of put their shit out there. Really, I think it's a combination subversion, you know, subvert the natural order of people making beautiful, consistent, coherent art at the same time that they also have a big black op window open up that they can money launder through. And, you know, and there's some evidence to this kind of stuff. If you look up Gladio, or, you know, that's kind of a peripheral program. But Jesse Waugh was against all of that. And he might have been the very first guy to write an article and publish it on the web that said that he thought that there was evidence that these guys were just laundering money. But alas, I digress. I mean, the reason I brought Jesse Waugh up is because now I've done dozens and dozens of interviews and appearances on the internet. And the one that's going to be coming up, the most recent, the newest one pretty soon, I don't have the date. But I just made my third appearance on Conspiracy Cinema with Jared. That's Jared's main thing, is he's creating and producing Conspiracy Cinema. But he's also the producer of Odin's Alchemy with Benjamin Balderson. He does us a huge favor and simulcasts us as spiders over onto Balderson's rock fin so that it widens our bandwidth, which is another thing I've always intended to do, to get that rolling on my YouTube. And intended to do. Oh, one day, someday. But I'll tell you the secret there. Is another secret is you have all this huge laundry list of shit that you expect to do, whether it's obligations that you have, like you're supposed to pay your taxes, or you know, go see your mom, or pull weeds in the backyard, or whether or not it's your pie in the sky ideas, like I'm going to make a big painting, or I'm going to write a song, or I'm going to finally record these 5 or 10 songs that I got sitting in the archive. The first and main thing you can do is just lay off of yourself about it and allow things to develop in such a way that they come to you naturally. And if you do that, then those things will actually get done in a faster, easier way. Like when RX Only Picture Show ended, when I had to step away from it, I felt like a huge obligation on myself to come back and make some kind of content. And you know, I'll be honest, that's still there in a way, but I also gave up on that feeling. That feeling of, you gotta do something, you better do something. Like, that's not really true. That's really just a feeling. And if you accept that it's just a feeling, and give yourself permission to just do, you know, pretty close to nothing. to do only what's absolutely required. And I would even question that stuff, like what's required other than taking breaths. What's really required? And the answer is not much. I mean, you're gonna have to drink a little bit of water occasionally. You know, every few weeks or a few days, you're gonna have to put a little bit of food in the body. But other than that, you're not really required to do much. Now, what happens is your brain freaks out on you if you stop doing the things that you feel obligated to do, like say working your day job. Then your brain says, you know, if you don't do that, they're not going to give us the fun tickets. We're not going to have any money. If we don't have any money, then we're going to get kicked out of our house and we're not going to be able to buy any food. And if we don't have any place to live or any food, then we're going to start to suffer, and eventually we're just going to die. We're going to get turned into a homeless person. We'll probably start drinking and doing drugs, and we're going to die young, or we're just going to die. And that's just bullshit. That's just your brain running a trip on you. It's not even true. The truth is, you can stop doing everything that you're doing, especially stuff that you don't want to do, and just tell everybody, I'm not doing that anymore, and don't offer any kind of excuse or explanation. And if you're not only worrying about bad shit happening, and you're actually looking out and being curious about good stuff that might be happening, the whole world might shift in your favor just because you had the audacity to say, no, I don't want to work for the post office anymore. I'm doing something else. I'm done. I'm quitting today. And you don't have to. It's another thing is a good thing I learned, and a good thing to remember is that you don't owe people an explanation for anything. You're not obligated to explain yourself. You can't show up to the party and you said you were going to go and then you changed your mind or something happened. You can just let them know, hey, I'm not going to make it. And that's it. You don't have to tell them anything else. So yeah, I highly recommend only doing the things that seem pleasurable, good, and necessary to the improvement and the quality of your day. And I know it sounds crazy. Sounds crazy, like, can't do that. What if this? What if that? That's just your brain running a trip on you. Try it out. You choose one day in the future and just try it out. See what happens. And then you'll find that space will open up for the things that you really want to do. Or maybe it's the things that you've been preferring that these things would have been done. You'd have been happier if these things would have been done a long, long time ago. But they're just not getting done because you're stuck in a procrastination loop where you got so much pressure built up around yourself to try to get something done that it's actually creating like this force field, invisible shockwave, sound wave out in front of you that pushes the things that you want to do out farther away from you, even though you're telling yourself and your mom and everybody else, oh, I'm going to get that done. I'm going to get that done. I'm going to rake the leaves and take them down to the dump station, or whatever it is that you say you have to do. And the truth is, if you take that pressure off yourself and say, you know what, I don't think I am going to do that stuff. I might never do it. We might have to get somebody else to rake the leaves. I'm not going to do it. Then that actually unlocks and opens up the space for you to do it. You know, and it's a trip. It takes a little bit of practice, but I've found that most of the bullshit that's going on is really, it's just in my head. You know, Tom Petty famously said, you know, most shit I worry about never happens anyway. And I found that to be deeply, deeply philosophically true. That, I mean, because the truth is, I mean, it's messed up deep. It's a deep thinker kind of thing. But the truth is, we can't really understand what consciousness is. We can't agree on it. We can't explain it. Some people want to tell you that consciousness is, you know, somehow it is the body, or it's in the body, which is highly debatable. You know, and so if we can't even agree and have some kind of basic understanding of what consciousness is, what this awareness of self, quote unquote self, if you don't even agree and can't be 100% sure what that is, then on top of that, so then you've got all the memories and all the stuff that comes along with it. Imagining the future, thinking about the past. You can't even really pin down or understand or explain what the functionality of you being able to think or feel or acknowledge or understand that you exist, like you can't nail that down. And so then if you're thinking about what's going to happen next, you're imagining the future, you're scheduling for next week, you're penciling shit in on December 21st at this time, and at the same time you're worrying about the past. Oh, I got in an argument with my brother and I don't know how things are going to go when we get to the wedding, or whatever the bullshit is that's in your head. It's all just projections from this mystery called consciousness onto the screen of your awareness. It's not real. And if you can clear your mind, take some deep breaths, maybe try what homie Romy said. What did he say? You know, do this one nose breathing and out the other. Do that 5 or 6 times, leaning against a pine tree. Next thing you know, you're all good. And that little voice in your head can just kind of go away. Settle down at least. I tell him he needs to be quiet. The little voice in my head is like, you just got to be quiet, man. If you're going to be here, I told you you're fired. Like, really, you're dismissed. You're fired. But if you're going to be here, I want you to be quiet, please. And I feel that just talking to you guys about it has made a big difference. I don't know how many of you guys are still stuck here watching me, but I'm here close to wherever my rocket stove is, so I think I'm going to push the button. Probably upload this over to the YouTube if you want to watch it again. It's just one more silly rant. My brain's already trying to run a trip, say, oh, this isn't even worth publishing. This is stupid. Why would you put this up on your YouTube? What a waste of time. That's not true. This is the voice I'm dismissing all the time. Like, hey, man, I told you, shh, it's time to be quiet now. Of course, I'm going to upload it to YouTube. That was the whole reason to start this thing in the first place. So anyways, I love you guys. Talk to you sometime soon. If you want to watch a replay, it'll be over on YouTube. I don't know when. Probably tomorrow on my birthday or something. Anyways, see, I won't be there Saturday night because we got plans, but I'll see you next week or on Wednesday. Okay, bye.